Hey, good morning, sports bettors. It is Matt Moda here with OddsJam, here to give you some bets to lock in tonight for the national championship. So obviously we have TCU versus Georgia. So I'm going to lock in some positive EV bets as well as some player prop bets found using the OddsJam screen. So both of these avenues will be used to find some plays. First up, let's start with the positive EV play. And we are looking at TCU versus Georgia, obviously, going over 62.5. So I actually already locked this in, as you can tell, the conflicting bets. I already locked it in over 61.5, but odds are still kind of hammering towards this over. So 62.5 is a play as well. Can get this at Circa Sportsbook or Ballybet Sportsbook, either of those two offering this play. So number one, let's chat about the math behind it. It's a mathematically profitable play because of these no vig odds that you see here. So the way the no vig odds work, so let me back up a little bit. We see the screenshot here, right? Like when you click into a play, it pulls up where every sportsbook is pricing this individual play. We see odds range from -110 all the way up to -124. Pretty decent range for such a tight market as like the total. Total is one of the three main markets, gets a ton of action. So the fact that we have such a wide gap between plays means that one of these sportsbook has to be right, one of them has to be wrong. And in sports betting, one of the secrets is some sportsbooks are better than others in terms of pricing odds, right? Like not every single sportsbook is created equal. So the way these no vig odds work is they're pulled from the sportsbooks that are consistently the best at pricing odds, the sportsbooks that are consistently the sharpest. So OddsJam back-tested thousands and thousands of betting opportunities to determine what sportsbooks are the sharpest. That's kind of how it works. So, and that's why this is such a powerful tool, because basically the sharpest sportsbooks in the world are saying, hey, this bet should actually be priced closer to -111. We're getting it at -110 at these two different sportsbooks. There's your value. And then look at where every other sportsbook prices it, right? Pinnacle is the sharpest sportsbook in the world, prices it at -124. Pretty much across the board, FanDuel is close at -114. Then a little bit, not really as close, -117, -118. And then pretty much -120s across the board. But for a play like this, like a total, also works for a point spread. If you view the event page, it pulls up where every sportsbook prices the main line for this market to be, right? Like not every single sportsbook is going to price the over-under at 62.5. So if you view the event page, you can see where sportsbooks price it. Let me zoom out just a little bit here. And as you can see, every other sportsbook has their main line of this bet at either 63 or 63.5. And again, for a play like this, that's such a tight market that gets so much action, beating the closing line by half a point or a full point is a huge deal. And then you want to look at the sharp sportsbooks. Pinnacle is the sharpest sportsbook, as I mentioned, prices the over-under at 63.5. Bookmaker, another sharp sportsbook, has it at 63. BetOnline has it at 63.5. All of these sportsbooks are telling you that this total should be priced above 62.5, which is also them telling you they think that this total going over 62.5 is the more likely scenario. So this is a really good bet. It's bet number one for this video. TCU versus Georgia over 62.5. Next up, I'm using the OddsJam screen to find some player props. So the way the OddsJam screen works is it pulls up odds from every single sportsbook for a specific market. So in this case, we're looking at player receiving yards. So it's kind of similar to what we're doing with the total, but we're just looking for sportsbooks that have mispriced odds, or mispriced lines, I should say, and where you're looking for kind of discrepancies. And the perfect example of this is with the receiving yardage total of Kenny McIntosh. So FanDuel prices him at 26.5. Underdog Fantasy prices him at 27.5. Look at where the other two sportsbooks price it. 20.5 and 21.5. Now granted, DraftKings heavily favors this going over at 20.5, but that's still 6 to 7 yards lower than what FanDuel and Underdog is giving you. So this represents a really valuable middle opportunity, right? There's 6 to 7 yards with totals as low as 26, 20 is really, really valuable. There's could be a 30% chance that he lands in between these two numbers, depending on kind of how you want to assign probabilities. So This is a really good opportunity to take the under on both FanDuel and Underdog, and then take the over on both PrizePicks and DraftKings and try to middle this opportunity. We can see some discrepancies if we go a little bit further along, but this is the best one that you'll see. Like we see Quentin Johnson has a decent discrepancy at over under 81, 88 and a half, 85, 87, but that's such a high number that the 7-yard gap from 88 and a half to 81 and a half isn't nearly as valuable as the 6 to 7 yard gap going from 27 to 20 to 26 and a half, right? So you kind of understand the difference between these two. Another situation where I found a really, really good discrepancy is with player receptions. So this is obviously heavily juiced, but FanDuel prices, it's same player, Kenny McIntosh, prices his receptions at 3.5, and PrizePicks prices it at 2.5. That's a huge deal. That is literally a 33% difference. There's a 33% chance, basically, that he lands at exactly 3 receptions, if not higher, if not a more than 33% chance, right? Going from 2.5 to 3.5 is a huge deal. So again, it's pretty heavily juiced, so probably makes sense to parlay this with something, but it's a really good under to take on FanDuel and a really good over to take on PrizePicks. And this is the best example that you'll see of a reception total like this, where it's literally an entire reception difference. We see a lot of examples where like it's 2.5 to 3, 2.5 to 3, 3 to 3.5, 3 to 3.5, 4.5 to 5, but none as good as this Kenny McIntosh one. So he's a really good receiver in this game to have, I guess I should say, they're really good receiving props on him in this game. But that's going to be it for this video. So if you're tailing, comment and let me know, tailing these picks. Other than that, would appreciate a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But that's it. So appreciate everybody watching and have a good one.